Thank you very much, Joe Musso. Bills 8-5 against the Rams all time. This is just their 14th meeting. They've never faced each other outside of the regular season. Now, Haas, I don't know if you know this, but never in the history of the league have two teams played each other in week one and then met again in the Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
And these two, of course, two of the top three Super Bowl favorites. Bills at plus 600, Rams at 11-1 to run it back. This is, by the way, the second meeting between the Sean Mickeys. Dermott and McVay, second ever. Last time they met.
You're learning me a lot today there, Jeremy.
Well, you know, it's important to learn something every day. Rams 2.5-point underdogs at home. The total set at 52 points. Plus 115 on the money line are the defending champions. And according to Sportsline simulations, look at that. The Rams will cover, but they will lose the game by 1 point to the Bills. All right, let's welcome in Jon Berger, who's still wearing his tie. John, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, this is a tie-less show.
Does Hassel not get the?
This has become a
memo?
tie-less show.
What are we doing? I mean, he's dragging our show down here.
All right, I'm going to let you go professional to kind of class things up a little bit here. But John, let's talk about some bets for tonight, and let's start with the Rams' best player prop. And there's been some concern over Matthew Stafford's elbow issue in the preseason. He says he feels better than he did a year ago, though. And you like him for a player prop tonight for the Rams. Tell us.
I like it. Stafford is like Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, my elbow hurts here. I mean, he's just moving the line every time he opens his mouth. It's actually kind of fun. It's kind of humorous to me. Like if you're a starting quarterback, you're not going to go out to the media and be like, yeah, my arm's not working so well. It's not the way it works. But whatever, we'll roll with it. Kind of a couple things, just observations, Jeremy. Let me see here and try to track with me. So defending champions at home underdog. Not making a lot of sense to me. And I get the Buffalo Bills, in the last several weeks, even month, they're coming out as the Super Bowl favorite. They deserve all the accolades they're getting. This is an offense that scored 30 points a game last year with Josh Allen running and throwing. Defense only gave up 273 total defensive games. So I get coming into 2022, but it just feels awkward that the defending champs at home is not getting those points. So when you pivot over to kind of the best bet, I'm looking at Stafford, and I'm going to take the over in terms of his completions, and I'll tell you why I'm going to do it. McVay, as a head coach, brought in Cam Akers as a running back to get a little bit of balance. I think what you're going to see in this game is this is going to be a very slow kind of game in the first quarter. I don't think either side is going to take a great deal of risk. I think you're going to see a play every 18 seconds. I think by the end of the game, because of the game plan from the Rams to keep Josh Allen off that field, they're going to run the football early in that game. They're not going to have that option late in the game. And that's why I think Stafford's going to get up over that 24, 25, 26 pass rating. And I think that's why I'm going to take that over. I just think the game's going to get turned into a shooting match here in the fourth quarter, and that's why I'm going to do it. I think it's a pretty safe bet, but we'll see if it plays out that way. Well,
and of course, that Bills defense, they didn't get any worse in the offseason. They got a little bit better, and they were already one of the top defenses going into the offseason. So let's switch topics then and go to the Bills player prop. I would have thought that you'd maybe go with Josh Allen here because you were looking at Stafford to kind of throw, but you mentioned they're keeping Allen off the field, but here you're looking at value from Stephon Diggs.
This one just seems like a value pick I looked across the court. I looked across Josh Allen, and I thought the numbers were pretty accurate. I didn't see any kind of glaring things pop out, but if you think about the way the game is going to unpack, I'm not sure that the reconstituted offensive line from the Buffalo Bills is going to shove around the front four from the Rams. I don't think that's a safe bet. So when you look at how the game plan is probably going to play out, I don't think they're going to be able to run the football that successfully. In that situation, you're going to look at a lot of short passes, crossing routes, screen plays. You're going to look at some design runs for Josh Allen. You're going to look at that type of an offense. In that situation, I just look at this pick, and I just think Stephon Diggs is going to get more, 6 catches or more, because I think they're going to have to get the ball to him, especially downfield, and create some big first downs, especially on third down situations. I just think that's a value bet. I'm going to take the over in that situation.
Diggs, 5.5 receptions, and of course, fantasy players are going to be all over Stephon Diggs tonight as they open up the season. All right, what about a game prop to target tonight overall? What catches your eye here?
Macro perspective, and I went back and looked at this. So I looked at their first quarter This is always something I look at early in the season because a lot of teams, when they come out in their first or second game, the offenses can be kind of clunky, Jeremy. They're not kind of in a NASCAR, get in and out of the huddle, fast-paced in that first quarter. They're running a play every 18 seconds, kind of slow. So I looked at both coordinators. I looked at Leslie Frazier and Raheem Morris, and I looked at how they matched up in that situations in terms of how they called the game and how they do as coordinators and minimizing scores against their defenses. And I'm going to take this. I'm going to take over 9.5, right at 10 to 12 points in that first quarter, just because these two defensive coordinators are ranked number 2 and 3 respectively in terms of minimizing points against their defense in the first quarter. I just think that's a fun bet. And I think there's some logic behind it, some rationale, and I think it's a bet we can win.
And so it makes sense then when you look at your play on the total, which is set at 52. I mean, over or under based on, what you've researched?
Yeah, I'm going to go over. And again, I think this goes over late. I think this game is a war of attrition in the first half. I think, I took Stafford over 24 or 24.5 on the completions. I think you're probably not going to like that bet in the first half, but I think in the third and fourth quarter, I think it's going to be bombs away. I think these two teams are going to be trading blows into the fourth quarter, and I think it's one of those 1 or 2 possession games. So I just think you're going to see a lot of points scored in the second half, and I'm going to take the over on 52.
Well, and the last time they played, you look there in 2020, 35-32 in that game. So it's a 3-point edge there. You got 67 points between the two teams in that one, and the Bills had a 28-3 lead in that game before the Rams stormed back with 29 unanswered points. So going over the total certainly makes sense based on what you see historically from these two head coaches as they meet for the second time. All right, Bills, 2.5-point favorites here. Favorites to win the Super Bowl. You saw the sports line simulations, John. 2.5-point favorites had the Bills winning by 1, so the Rams on the cover here. So what's your play on the line?
I'm going to take the Rams in the points. I weighed what I was hearing on the wire, and I understand, again, the numbers for Buffalo. And coming into 2022, everything's based on 2021. I like the fact that the Rams are going to have a little bit of a diversified offense and going to be able to run the football this year. I think at home, a little bit of disrespect coming off that championship. I just think if it comes down to 1 or 2 possessions with them at home with all those playmakers, I think they can get it done, and I'm going to take them in the points.
Certainly going to be a good one. By the way, 45, the 56 Super Bowl champions, started the season 0-1. So a loss here, not necessarily a terrible thing for 2 of the 3 top Super Bowl favorites. Jon Berger, always good to see you, buddy. Classing up the show.
Tomorrow, bud.
Picks. Appreciate you. Let's recap John's plays for tonight. He likes Matthew Stafford to go over his 24.5 completion number. Stephon Diggs to go over his reception total, and he likes that first quarter game prop. It's good value there at over 9.5 points, and then, of course, taking the over on the total. John says it's going to go over late. 52 is what the total is. The last time they played, they got to 67, so that makes complete sense. And the Bills, favored by 2.5. Rams will cover the 2.5.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.